This Family Electric Ghost is a continuing series of song deconstructions. We're talking about, in episode 66, the 8-bit inspired video game theme song, Josephine Sez Shut IT. And little history on Family Electric Ghost. Before we were Phantom Electric Ghost, we were just Keith Gittens Jones out there on SoundCloud doing a lot of soundscapes and sound paintings. A lot of these soundscapes and sound paintings became the basis of our electronic rock opera called September play, and Burn the World Down, which is out there on all the streaming services. But lately we were listening to some video game music from back in the day, from the Atari 2600 era, Nintendo Nintendo systems out there, in the Sega Master System, and just the general goodness of the 8-bit inspired 8-bit video games. It caused us to do this new song, which Josephine's basically saying, don't have any vocals, just play the music. And so what we did is we took our Roland Juno GI and we used a triangle wave lead, which has that kind of, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario Brothers type of sound when you play it in any kind of melody as a lead. And we decided to create our own kind of, mock video game theme, and we called Josephine Sez Shut IT. And we used it for the bottom end of the song, the analog Arturia Mini Brute 2S and the Moog DFAMs and Mother 32 to give us the analog fatness of the bass signals. And then for the drums, we used the JDXI again. We customized the beat that we thought was pretty cool, because we were just kind of like a very fast kind of jam band kind of beat. But what we did also is, in some places on the JDXI, we kind of put fills in, and also on the Arturia Beats Pro, we ran the roller command to, mix it up a little bit and give more variability to the drum beat, so it felt like a natural drummer. And we like to do that to kind of give a little life as a one-person band, using tools like the Arturia Beats Pro, and in just the sequencers that are available in our other gear. And there's a sequencer inside the Mini Brute 2S. There's a sequencer on the DFAM, but it's a controlled voltage. So you do some kind of old school programming on that, on the voltage levels. And then we have the Mother 32's 32-bit capabilities. So we have a lot of different ways to create sequences in our current workflow. Plus we can run our digital tape, which is an old technique of running tape as a source of the actual song. So in a lot of cases, sometimes we're rolling the tape, and there could be stuff that's on our digital tape that we already pre-recorded, and then we can play with, which is kind of cool. Like on Zoom, you can roll a tape and then play over it on another track live. And in a lot of cases, we'll do that when we do live shows. The shows that we did in 2016, we used our R16 Zoom to exclusively do that, where we had songs that were structured pretty much, and we just left some of the tracks open for either the piano or the bass or the lead or the guitar parts and the vocal parts. And so we were able to replicate our songs without using a sequencer. We used the tape machine to do it, but it's a digital tape machine, so it's really stable. And in some cases, it's more stable than a sequencer, because you're not dependent on your MIDI signal to do that. And if there's an issue with your MIDI signal, or you can't get the tone that you originally recorded with, you're able to be consistent with your original song, but then you can have the ability to play with it, which is a little different than just running a sequencer. Kind of like what people do with MPCs, kind of let you do that. I figured out how to do it with my Zoom, in the combination with the Zoom and the Arturia Beats Pro is how I've been doing this for a while. So this song is, just our homage to going back to our sound paintings and the video game theme music, we got a pretty good response to it because a lot of people seem to like, the way we're coming from on it, and we're happy that they like it. We've always kind of wondered if we should go back to doing our non-vocal recordings, but our instrumentals never get the kind of hit that our Josephine or Phantom songs do, but we'd still like to do them, and we try to integrate our instrumental performance to everything we do. That's why a lot of our songs are kind of overly long, just because we like to play, and we're kind of coming from that kind of jazz, sun rock kind of inspired concept of just like, rolling and just going with what we feel. A lot of our recordings are feel based. A lot of our tracks are second, third take, first take type of recordings, and that's been, worked for us a lot. In some cases we've gone through and really constructed a song, like the song I Want to Share a Fifth With You is highly constructed. So we feel that that's been good for us. And, we know some of our techniques are not exactly standard. Though we do have songs where we have separated vocal tracks, separated bass tracks. And then we have our songs that are more live recordings where everything's been kind of equalized on our dual mixers before it hits maybe just one or two tracks. And so a lot of cases, sometimes we'll record a song and we'll use our MX1 mixer and set the levels on that and then record it right to tracks 1 and 2 on a Zoom. And we'll have, we don't have the vocals on a separate track, we don't have the bass on a separate track, and that's typically not what you're supposed to do, but when you're trying to capture the live feel of a live recording, sometimes you do it that way. Now, we've looked at, solutions that could allow us to still record that way, but separate the tracks so we have more control over the individual tracks, like the live track, L12 seems to be a good machine for doing that. But we're also interested in Tascam 24. And, we try to be our own recording engineer, and everybody will say, well, you shouldn't do that. But a lot of people were doing home recording today. They do what they can. They're using Pro Tools. They're doing their own mastering. And it might not be what it could be with a recording engineer, but then again, you have the artist having their original concept done the way they wanted to do it. And I'm sure the recording engineer, if you could afford them, would make a lot of my material better than it is, but it's what I can do right now. And so, I've applied for many different contests to try to get professional recording done for my material, but I've been okay with what I've been doing so far. I've been increasing the quality of my gear, making a move to the Tascam 24 or the L12 in the future, maybe even a combination of the two for certain reasons. Like I said, the L12 could record things on separate mixes, and then the R24 could be my final mastering. And potentially then I wouldn't even need to do Landar if I had the R24. I mean, the Model 24 from Tascam, but we'll look at that. So we're really happy with what we've been doing on our overall Anchor podcast. We are fan supported, and if you do support us, you could maybe help us toward a couple goals. One of our goals is to get a Moog 1 and then use it to do collaborations with indie artists around the world. Our typical collaboration is that we don't ask for any money up front. We just take it all on the back end publishing. And it's usually a 50-50 situation. And so if we were able to get a Moog 1, we would work with artists around the world and share that capability. So if you think that's cool, you like what the Ghost is doing, you think that's a good idea, if you subscribe to us, you'll help us do that, but we'll also give you one of our first CDs from 2016. They're on Amazon.com, but no longer on any of the streaming services. So the first 3 Phantom Electric Ghost albums, Something Wicked, Indigo Menace, and Synesthesia, Sweet Neo, Soul Surrender, we'll give you one of those copies if you subscribe at the $4.99 or $9.99 level. And then also that would help us toward our goal of getting the Moog 1. So thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to us. We're at 1.4K with 1,400 listens on Anchor. Our peak when we were on SoundCloud, not SoundCloud, but Spotify, was around 3,000. So we're getting closer back to, getting our original audience back. It's a lot of work after Spearman stopped doing podcasts. We do appreciate Spearman because we use their tool, their headliner tool, for a lot of our video stuff. But we did take a hit when our audience, all of our audience came with us to Spearman. Maybe it was our issue, we couldn't convert them or let them know where we were going. But now, we've got a pretty good base there. We've interviewed almost all the artists that we interviewed on Spearman. And so, we're going forward with what we're going to do with the Ghost. And we're hoping that the Ghost is going to, in 2019, be on some stages around the world and playing in front of people other than our Facebook Live, which we're going to continue doing Facebook Live performances. But we're also very interested in getting back and doing live shows. So that is something that we're very interested in. And hopefully you'll see us somewhere around the world in the future. Thank you.